Hello everyone, myself Shivam Gore, and today daily task topic is the uh, body cavities. First, to discuss the body cavities. The body cavities are the space within the body, the house organs, and the provided the protection, support, and separation of different body systems. There are and There are the two major categories of body cavities: dorsal body cavity and ventral body cavity. Now to detail discuss the firstly to detail discuss the dorsal body cavity. Dorsal body cavity is located on the posterior back side of the body, and they are divided into two types, subtypes: cranial cavity and spinal cavity is also known as the verbal cavity. Um, uh, cranial cavity is the Cranial cavity is location enhanced by the skull and contents from the brain, and function of cranial cavity is the protects the brain and the several as the site attachment of the meanings or protective membranes. Next one is the spinal cavity. Spinal cavity is location to run within the verbal columns and contains the spinal cord, and function of the spinal cavity is the protect the spinal cord and allows the passage of nerve and from the brain. And next one is the verbal body cavity. Verbal body cavity is located on the anterior side of the body and divided into the diaphragm divided by the diaphragm. The thoracic cavity, there include the first is the thoracic cavity, pleural cavity, mediastinum cavity, pericardial cavity, and abdominal pelvic cavity. Firstly, to discuss the thoracic cavity. Thoracic cavity is the located on the pituitary superior of the diaphragm, contains the and thoracic cavity is the superior to the diaphragm, content the pleural surround each lungs. Mediastinum is the central compartment housing of heart to trachea, esophagus, and thymus. Pericardial cavity is surrounded by the heart. The main function of the pericardial cavity is the protect the vital organs and allows the lungs and expansion. Next one to discuss in detail the abdominal pelvic cavity. Abdominal pelvic cavity is the location of the inferior to the diaphragm and subdivision. And now to discuss the subdivision of the subdivision of abdominal pelvic cavity. There the first one is the abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity contains the stomach, liver, intestines, spleen, pancreas, and kidney. And pelvic cavity contains the bladders, reproductive organs, and rectum. The function of the pelvic cavity is the support digestion, reproduction, and excretion process. Now discuss the smaller cavities. Third one is the smaller cavities. They are the smaller cavity. Smaller cavity is the additional two main cavities. There are the smaller cavities. There are first one is the oral cavity. Next one is the nasal cavity, orbital cavity, and middle ear cavity, and is synovial cavity. Firstly, to discuss the oral cavity. Oral cavity contains the now to detailing discuss the oral cavity. Oral cavity contains the mouth and teeth. Next one is the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity is the houses the nose and associated structures. Orbital cavity contains the eyes. Middle ear cavities contains the thinny bones and thinny bones of the middle ear. And synovial cavity is found in the joints and joints and contains the synovial fluid for the lubrication. They are the they are this study that the body cavities. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you.